Good morning, friends. How are you today? How are your lives going here at Life Under the Palms this particular Sunday morning? A glorious morning. I guess we're now in we're in our first official week of spring. Might not feel like it yet out there all over the country, all over the North American continent, but we're going to get there. The sun is getting stronger. You're starting to feel a little bit more reinvigorated, that things are not quite as gray as they've been for the last 4 months perhaps, and now you're starting to enjoy the changes. And pretty soon in the northeastern part of North America you'll see the spring bulbs coming up, which are just a festival of color. And maybe a few weeks later in the central part of US and Canada, and I guess you folks in west of the Rockies have seen a myriad of things that have already occurred weather-wise, but I guess you're starting to see also some hyacinths and tulips and flowering shrubbery like forsythia and quince and dogwood, redbud, those kind of things that heralds a new season coming up, and it's very, very encouraging to see that. As you remember, or you might remember, for the last visit, we talked color and how to use color to your advantage, and certainly if your colors are sort of skewed with what your choices have been and it just doesn't look right, well, we're going to try to see if we can make some corrections on that so that you will be using color like a pro. And I'm going to go refer to this as in generalities now. This particular session is going to be talking about how to put things together that are related in some way to create pretty much a designer look in a very, very low budget. And it gives a surprisingly good effect if you do have that ability to just pick and choose the best things that you like. Write down what your favorite things are, whether you like to see fish or nautical themed things in the house, whether you like to see things kind of uncluttered and ultra modern and angular shapes, then you would write that down. If you like early American things, real cozy furniture with a lot of maple tone stains and just see a lot of wood, then you kind of make that as your basic theme. In this environment that we live, it kind of evolved such that I said, well, we've got a lot of different kind of facets of trips that we had taken that we always find comforting. Of course, we come from a background of where we enjoyed the fall foliage, so that speaks very strongly here in certain rooms of the house. And what's nice about that is you use the colors of those things to tie everything together as a theme. Now, this house basically uses very light colored walls. This office that I'm speaking to has kind of like a peachy white to it, so it's not a stark white. This is the only room that we did that in because this was subject to water damage, and it didn't seem like at the time we would want to go back to the stark whiteness of it. So we did with a little bit of it, just a little bit of a tint in a base white, and actually, you know, to the eye it still looks white behind me, but it's just a touch of color. When you have a lighter room like this, you can go ahead and add a lot of accoutrements that maybe would be too overwhelming in a brightly wall-colored room or richly wall-colored room. I love deep blues and bright yellows and pinks, you know, almost bordering on rose, lavenders, and a distinct peach colored wall. But it does limit then what you can put in it. You don't want to have too many colors fighting it. So if you're an apartment person, most of the walls are painted white anyway. But if you're in a house that's got a lot of color that you're just moving into, that might be something that you want to deal with first. Make sure that you go, I would say, with as timeless a wall color combination as you can possibly find. And white base tints very well with almost any color you'd like, so you could put just a suggestion of blue or teal, greens, very light yellow, almost to the point of it being white, but just a little bit, it warms it up a little bit. Peach, but again, just very subtle. And then it's not only beneficial for you because your rooms look brighter and larger, but when and if you move, there's very little for the next person who's going to be inhabiting that space to have to change, because they see things very large and open and bright too. And so what furniture or accoutrements that they have in their home, they can feel comfortable with putting them right in place without having to repaint the walls. So that's something to keep in mind. So if you have a white wall, don't think that that's a disadvantage. It's actually a pretty good thing. And if you do have some colorful collectibles that you have saved over the years, everything goes with white. So, you know, it's like this edge of this paper. No color really looks bad on it because it is a white background. And that is something that makes it, very flexible from the standpoint of going together. And if you use some of these darker shades in your home, again, it looks good with the white, but I would probably tell you then, if you're going to use the darker shades, use them as an accent only in little pieces like pillows and little statuary, that kind of thing. I collect bottles of food product that are pepper sauces and things that have Latin writing on the jars for for display, because we're trying to get like a tropical Latin flavor too going throughout this house, because that's what we're close to geographically, and it looks like you're on a trip. It looks like you're away. So, and a lot of those come in this red orangey zone, which is probably our dominant color. I think when I moved in here, I think my two favorite colors were an orange and a blue, and a tan to work as a third color, which would be basically a background. It's kind of classic, it works well, it doesn't fight each other. But we're going to take a little tour of just some segments and zero in on them and zoom in on them in the camera, so you can see what I mean about different things that are decidedly from different origins and how well they work because of the shapes that are comfortable with each other and the color palette that's chosen. And you tell me in your comments what you feel about how well this is working, and I'd love to hear what you have to say, because we all have rooms that just don't work. They just don't work. This gives you a little leverage to make them work a little bit better. So definitely think blanker backgrounds, colorful objects. The most colorful objects probably small, and shades of that color that's your favorite, in a little bit lighter and larger use of it. Say if you liked this blue, I said that could be a pillow. Well, if you do like blue, you could probably, if you're looking for a sofa, go with something that's in the lightest of blues. And that goes with anything really. It's easier to do in a kitchen because brighter colors kind of go in a kitchen, but you can never go wrong with a light plaid as a sofa, pastel plaid, with maybe one dominant color that comes in a stripe, be it red or blue or orange. But that's a tried and true methodology for getting that to work. So without further ado, we're gonna turn this camera off now as I do a little bit of mobiling, and we're gonna just zero in on some things that I think you might find interesting. We'll talk about it a little bit, just to get the brain going. And this is an ongoing series. There's no right, no wrong, really. So you can use these videos as tutorials to have for your future purpose and reference. I advise you to get one of these color wheels. Remember, somebody's going to win one of these based on the amount of comments that they have given on this subject. We have a couple of people in the running now for kind of neck and neck for winning one of our wheels. This contest ends on the 21st of April, which is Easter Sunday. Pretty appropriate because that's a very colorful holiday, and the wheel will probably be shipped sometime that following week. So congrats to you in advance, good luck, and let's take a look around this house and see what Paul's talking about in terms of colors that work and colors that don't work together. Okay? Bear with me, folks. I'll be with you in a little bit when I get set up. And thanks for being with us. Love you. Life Under the Palms needs your subscriptions, needs your comments, needs your likes. We're over 50,000 in membership again. Thankfully, the little dip is dipped and it's done its thing, and we're now over 2,010,000, I believe, views. So we thank you for that too. It doesn't. All right, now we're here in the dining living room area. When you get to this area, basically what you're seeing is, again, that very, very light background, and it's an open floor plan, so really there's a lot of shiny space and airy space. Well, we've got whitewashed furniture. This chest on the left is from Mexico. That's probably the most expensive piece here, but I did get that and reclaimed from Oaxaca, Mexico. But everything is light. Just chose wooden blinds on the windows and the fan style shutter on the top. We didn't have a Christmas tree this year. We went inside with a maple tree, which I said we liked fall. Well, it's there, and it got changed with a little bit of purple, pink, and aqua to give it a Christmas feel. And on the dining table, we've always enjoyed having a lot of colorful glass. And that arrangement used to be just cactus, but now it's got orchids in it, and it just works. So you got Southwest, you got tropical, and you got the same pastels. It just works. You say it just works. And on the door, we never did take that Christmas wreath off, but figured we really don't have to do that. So it's successful in its airiness. It's not overwhelmed, really, because of the space. There's a lot of junk in there, if you want to call that, but it really does have a lightness to it that makes it work. Yeah, we're just about ready to have, you might see a blue line on the floor. We're about ready to have the floor redone, and that will be something that should be happening in the next couple of weeks. Just want to break that up a little bit with some tile, so it'll be lighter under the table. We've got area rugs that are beautiful that will go, and they're being cleaned now. And just a very simple chandelier, but plenty of light. Like I said, it just works. He's a little fantastic with. He's got great taste buds, and he knows what really perks up a recipe that might benefit from just a little bit something that you don't quite know what it is, but it's an herb that's working to make your fish, your beef, your lamb, or your chicken that much tastier. And well, when he gets that, you'll know. So I will see you in a minute or two with the camera at my front, and it will be my eyes and it'll be your eyes to see exactly what I'm talking about. I'll give you the theoretical. I'm going to show you the reality now. Okay? Bye. Stove. Well, you know, how exciting can a stove be? Well, those little appliques that they sell on the sheets that you stick on the windows, they stick on any glass surface. So we fouled up the microwave oven quite a bit, and the door on the stove, so it's not so plain anymore. And as you can see, stuck that plate from Walmart on the wood door, and you've got fall. You've got a mola, which is a very special tapestry that's incredibly inexpensive in Panama, just putting a little pieces of cloth together. There's about 4 or 5 layers of cloth there that the Indians make in Panama. That's very collectible. They're all different. They're all slightly different, and they're all made with patches of color. These are the Cuna, K-U-N-A Indians in southeast Panama that make molas. They're special. And that unframed is $5. Framed is $25. You get a big bang for the buck, basically. We like our Louisiana remembrances, and that's just a replica of an old sign. I guess that's not focusing too well, but anyway. And you got a paper mache parrot on the other side. We got fall here, tropical, fall, and just color. Now, we're kind of proud of our bottled collection of pepper sauces. That really brings a Southwest or Spanish, Latin look to it. These were collected in Louisiana and in Panama, but you can pretty much find these in most shops now because pepper sauces are a hot item. But as a collector, absolutely. All those bottles of pepper probably are maybe $20, $25, and you've got a whole wall basically covered with stuff. Got tired of looking at the controls on the oven, and those just stickers from any craft store. Just happen to be a Mexican theme, and it works. Like I say, it works. Is it a lot of extra work? Not really. You got your some hibiscus flower that came on a bunch. They were about $5 a bunch. Just took a wire cutter, snipped them apart, and just have them scattered all around. But your basic color palette here was it's a tan tile and a cobalt blue, one layer, just one row of cobalt blue tiles, and it gives you again a little color contrast. But you're going from fall to Southwest to tropical, and it all seems to work. Up there, I was fortunate to come by this balsa wood fruit carving. It just so happened it fits so nicely on the pantry, with some grapes, artificial grapes hanging down on a vine, and gives you the kitcheny colors. As you can see here, very much a juxtaposition of mostly products, but dominant with oranges, reds, and blues. A little bit of green in there, but against the white background, it's perfect. It works very well. Some of these came from an airport. I remember in Texas, those jellies. Most of these are just Hispanic foods that you can find in any Spanish-oriented supermarket if you like that look, but it works out well. Plastic heliconias and anthuriums. Plate that's an oil drum plate from Haiti, which was very inexpensive. Coffee from Puerto Rico, and the whole package, when you see it together, it works. And you've got a lot of space up above it to the roof, so you're fine. Doesn't look overcrowded at all. So that's what I'm trying to get the point across, that you don't need a lot of expense to get a look, and nothing like a picture to show that.